Good morning, everybody. My name is Will Horniak. I'm a longtime friend of Cat's, and I really wish I could be there with you all this morning for the memorial. My wife, Conchetta, also a friend of Cat's, and I are in Ohio at the moment at a storytelling festival, and then we're headed out to Ireland after that for a few weeks. It's actually a trip that Cat helped me with in the planning, and we planned to offer a number of toasts in a number of pubs to Cat along the way. But I also really want to thank Sue and Char and Claire and Ellie for the chance to participate in the memorial in this way. So thank you all. Cat asked me if I might have a crow story to tell at her memorial. She had an affinity for crows. I never asked her exactly why, but I was just thinking it seems like a fitting symbol for Cat because, for one, crows are really smart, and Cat was really smart. And even though she never sort of paraded her intelligence around, I always felt like my IQ went up about 20 points when I talked with her. And then it quickly went down after that. Crows are very wily. They're very perceptive. They can also be loud and shrill. Shrill meaning having a vivid effect upon the senses. And I'm sure that for many of us, that was true of Cat too. She had a vivid effect upon the senses. And so, Cat, wherever you are, this is for you. It's a Persian folktale about crows. They say that once upon a time, in the long ago time, there was a flock of these beautiful wild pigeons flying through the sky. They flew over the mountains, across the lakes, along the river valleys, and through the forests. And at last, this flock of pigeons, they landed at the top of a tall tree. But they looked down through the boughs and the branches of the tree, and one of the pigeons said, "Look, at the base of the tree, it's golden grain, our favorite food." And another one said, "Well, then let's fly down and gobble it up." And just as they were about to do that, there was an old tattered crow in the next tree, and the tattered crow said, "Caw, caw, 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 caw." And if you don't speak crow, I'll translate. That means, pigeons, be careful. It was a hunter that put the grain there. And if you fly down to gobble it up, his net will soon fall upon you. Ah, but the bright, beautiful pigeons, they just said, "Oh, crow, crow, you are a wily and deceptive creature by nature, and you simply want all the grain for yourself. There's no hunter, and there's no net." And with that, the bright, beautiful pigeons, they flew down, down, down upon the grain. They landed there. They gobbled it up and swallowed it down, and it tasted so good. It tasted so good. It tasted so good. They didn't notice. Not far away in the brush, indeed, there was a hunter who said, "Ah, those foolish birds, they've taken my bait, and I'll be eating pigeon stew tonight." And so it was. The hunter took the net, and he cast it up, and up it went, and out it spread, and down it came, and it captured those wild pigeons, who now flapped wildly about in the net, only becoming more and more entangled. And as the hunter neared the net, the crow flew down and said, "Caw, caw, 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 caw. Pigeons, be still. If you want to be free, you have to spread your wings together." Well, this time, the bright, beautiful pigeons, they listened to the tattered old crow. And indeed, they spread their wings up, 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 up all together and brought them down quickly. And then up, 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 up and down, and up and down and up and down, and working together. The flock of pigeons, they lifted the net up and up and up and up and up into the sky, and they flew beneath it. And they said, "We're free. We're free." The pigeons flew off, and the net came down and landed on the hunter's head. And the only sound you could hear was the sound of an old and tattered crow as it flew off, saying, "Caw, caw, ha, 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 ha." And that's the story of the crow, the hunter, and the pigeons. Well, One of the reasons I like that story for Cat is that, for one, she had a wicked sense of humor. So I like that part at the end, the laughter. But also, Cat had a knack for working and getting people to work together, getting people to help and to cooperate. She was really there for people. I know she had been there for me a number of times. Cat was incredibly loyal, and I always felt like she had my back. Um, I met Cat in 1982. I was working as a carpenter at Elliott Bay Books when it was down in Pioneer Square, and I was an espresso jockey there down at the cafe for a couple nights a week. And Cat, who was working as a firefighter then in Seattle, she happened in one night with a friend of hers named Barb, and I'll never forget it. We just immediately fell into conversation. She just immediately felt like an old friend, and in no time we were just winging ideas and jokes, and even a few minor insults back and forth. And even though we lost touch after that for a number of years, we reconnected about 15 years ago, and the conversation has continued and continued right up until near the time of her death. And I always felt like talking with Cat was like having a fast game of tennis, just ideas and comments and opinions and jokes winging back and forth and back and forth. It was so vitalizing to be around her. Among the things I admired about Cat was her incredible bravery. She always she just always inspired courage in me because of how courageous she was. She traveled the world on a shoestring. She went everywhere, did everything. She backpacked solo in the wilderness, and she spoke up and she spoke out. I admired that about her. And as well as that really tough, strong, brave part of her, there was a beautiful, tender, compassionate, open, vulnerable heart as well. And I sometimes told her, I said, Cat, you're like a Mack truck, but you're hauling a load of marshmallows, because that tenderness inside was palpable. It was so evident, despite the very strong, brave, and beautiful, courageous, and vital exterior. When Cat died, I was reminded of an indigenous saying, which is, when one of the great old growth trees, like one of the great old cedars, when it falls, it reverberates on the forest floor. You can feel it for a long way away. And also, when the old growth falls, it leaves a noticeable space and emptiness in the forest. And that's how I feel with Cat gone. A certain emptiness in the community, and I know her daughters feel that too, a certain emptiness in the family. And despite that, like an old growth, which continue to nourish and feed and give life, even as they lay upon the forest floor, I think Cat's life, what she stood for, how she lived, the many things she did, the way that she loved life and others so passionately, so vitally, that continues to nourish us and inspire us. And I think, like a great old growth cedar, Cat nourished many people. She sheltered people, shaded people, protected people, and even more than that, her very presence to me, and I know to many others, was a reminder, an inspiration of our rootedness as human beings, but also of our stature, of our largeness, and of our nobility. And I'm always grateful to her for that. And I know that especially her beautiful daughters, Ellie and Char and Claire, have been and will continue to be nourished by the life that their mother, Cat, lived. To finish, I wanted to just read a short portion of a letter that I wrote to Cat. Actually, I wrote it to the gatekeepers of the hereafter on Kate's behalf. I told her I wanted to write a reference letter for any of the gods and goddesses that she would meet at the gates of paradise or wherever it is that she's bound. So it's addressed to all the gatekeepers of the hereafter, including Allah, Yahweh, Buddha, Jesus, Kuan Yin, Thor, Pachamama, Shiva, Kali, Zoroaster, Hermes, Athena, Set, Horus, etc., etc., etc. And it's from Clan Newsheller, and I include all of us in Clan Newsheller from planet Earth. And it says, dear and most esteemed guardians of Valhalla, Nirvana, heaven, the happy hunting grounds, Tir na Nog, the Elysian fields, paradise, etc., etc. Okay, a few things for you to consider from those of us who know and love Cat. We don't know if you all know what you're getting into here, so pay attention. First off, find something useful and interesting for Cat to do right off the bat. Ideally, put her in charge of something, because if you don't, she'll be in charge of something soon anyway. Give Cat the reins if you want something done and done thoroughly. Let her at it. We don't know how much writing or editing you do up there, but Cat's a grammar cop, a wordsmith, and a literary omnivore. She can hit a dangling participle at 300 yards with a 300 Winchester Magnum, so be forewarned. Although she's extremely compassionate and caring, she doesn't brook fools well, celestial or otherwise. She has a built-in, hardwired, 24/7, long-range bullshit detector, and she can spot a weenie ass from a country mile. She's a woman of countless competencies and well-reasoned opinions, all of which you will be made aware of in short order. We're not sure how much material reality you have available in the hereafter, but Cat is no stranger to hard work, and she's fluent in all phases of construction, gardening, animal care, cooking, etc. She'll knock out a song at the drop of a hat as well, and she's pretty damn good at child rearing too, as evidenced by her 3 exceptionally bright, talented, intelligent, and caring daughters, all human beings in their own right. Well, in short, we hope it's obvious that you're getting and we're losing a Class A, top-notch, very beloved, unique, bright, caring, talented, and funnier than hell human being. We've all been around the block a few times, and we know there aren't any replacements for Cat Newsheller. In a world of knockoffs, retreads, imitators, mimickers, and wannabes, Cat was the genuine article, the real deal. In a world of blended whiskeys, she was pure moonshine. She made indelible, deep impressions upon the hearts, souls, and minds of those fortunate enough to cross her wide and storied path through this world. So take good care of her, or else. She gave the best of herself to all of us here, and she deserves the best from all of you there. Sincerely, Clan Newsheller. And so, Cat, wherever you are at this point, wherever you're hanging out, I want to thank you for the life you lived and for going on ahead of us there, as you often do, to stake out a place further up the trail. And we will be there. And when we arrive, the drinks are on us. We'll see you up the trail, downstream, just a little bit. And thanks as well to Sue and Char and Ellie and Claire for the great work, the difficult work in giving your mother a beautiful, caring, compassionate death, the kind of a death that she could have on her own terms in her own home with those who loved her most. To Cat, to all of you, and to the beauty of this day, we will always remember you, Cat. Sláinte. Cheers. Take care, everyone. All the best.